Good morning, and welcome to Great Games Computer Learning Videos. This is the 7th video in the HTML5 Canvas video series. Today we'll be talking about Tutorial 7, Circle Styles. So let's get started. First, I'm going to open up the different programs that I'll need. And with this here, I've got my editor in Notepad++ on the right side. On the left side, I've got my finished project in the browser, so I can take a look at that, Tutorial 7, Circle Styles. And then down below I have my page, which has nothing in it right now, so it displays nothing in the browser. To begin with, I'm going to go ahead and lay out the HTML code to get the page marked up, and then we will add some CSS and some JavaScript to this to finish the project off. So let me get started here. And I'll put my HTML open and close tags. And I'm going to also tab over and put in my head section and my body section on this page. Okay, so that's my basic template to this page. Let me go ahead and add a few other elements within each one of these sections. Up in the head section, I'm going to add a section in here that's going to be called Title. And I'm going to also add a section here called Style. Okay, jumping down in the body area, I'm going to add a few things. We're going to add header 1 level, which will be used for the title that will be displayed on this page. An H3 that will be used for a subtitle. I have my open and close tags. I'm going to also put the canvas in here. Okay, we have a script section for our JavaScript. And the last section on here is going to be an H4 header level that's used for the copyright information. Okay, so that should be all the HTML that I actually need in this page. We're going to fill in some data within some of these tags or elements. So up in the title area, we're going to call this here Title Tutorial 7. And that will be the title that is displayed on the tab within the browser. Next, we're going to have a Style section here. And in the Style section, I purposely put it on one line like this, my open and close tag, but I'm going to actually open this up because there's going to be a lot more in here than what we want to put on one line. So I'm going to just come down a couple lines, go back inside and tab over, and I'm going to have a body section here where I'm going to do some formatting to the body of this page. So I will open it up here, and what I want to do is first start off by giving my page a background color. So I'm going to put in background dash or hyphen color colon, and I'm going to use a color which is a shade of blue here, which is 4D7AFF. Okay, and I'm going to also put a color on here for the font on this page, and I'm going to put this page created with a white font. I'm going to actually change the font, so I'm going to use an attribute called Font Family, and I'm going to put Century Gothic, but you can put any font that you want to put in here. So Century Gothic, and I'm going to align the text here. So I'm going to put text dash align, and I want this text to be centered on the page. Make sure that you close each of those lines with a semicolon and that you also end this block for the body with a closed curly brace. Okay. All right, I'm going to come down a line and backspace over, so I'm lined up with body again up at the top. I like to keep all of my text lined up so it's easy to see and read. I'm going to put canvas, and we're going to format the background color of this canvas. So I'm going to use background dash color, and I'm going to make the background white. Okay. Make sure that you put your closed semicolon and your closed curly brace at the end of that section also. Okay. All right, that completes what goes into the head section up here. I'm going to jump down to the body, and we're going to add a few things. So inside the H1 area, this is the title that's going to be on the page. So we actually have a title tag, which is going to display the title that you want on the tab inside the browser. And we also have an area here on this page that's going to be the title on the top of our page displayed to a user or a viewer of that page on the internet. So I'm going to go ahead and put in tutorial 7. Okay. For my subtitle, I'm going to put the name of this particular project. And we said that the name of this particular project was going to be Circle Styles. So let's type that here. We have our canvas area and we have our script area, which I'm going to come back to both of those in just a minute. So I'm going to jump down to my copyright information, and I'm going to go ahead and put the name, Great Games. And this is going to be a copyright this year, which is 2016. And then all rights reserved, like this. Okay. So that should take care of my text on the page and the formatting of my body and canvas elements on the page. Now I want to come in here and do a little formatting or fixing up of the canvas element down in the body section, and also writing the JavaScript code that's going to be used in the script tags. So for the canvas, I'm going to go ahead and put this on a couple lines. I'm just breaking it up because there's going to be a lot in here. In between these two, I'm just going to tab over, and I'm going to type the phrase update browser. And I'll put an exclamation mark there just to make sure that it's something that's, grabbing somebody's attention. And all that basically does is if the browser that they're using does not support Canvas, this will be displayed. If it does support Canvas, this will be ignored. Okay, it's just that simple. Inside the Canvas tag here, we're going to go ahead and format a couple of attributes. The first one being the ID. And for the ID, we're going to actually put the name of this canvas, which is going to be called My Canvas, in quotes like this. And then I'm going to resize this here. So if you look at my finished product here, this is actually 350 pixels wide, and it's 200 pixels high. So I'm going to specify that, because if I don't, the default value for the canvas is 300 wide by 150 high, and that would be too small for what we're going to be building here. So we're going to modify it. I'm going to put width equals, and we said this is going to be 350, and then our height is going to be equal to 200. Okay, so that completes my canvas area. And now all I need to do is my JavaScript inside these script tags here. So I'm going to click in the middle, bring this down a few lines, and I'll tab over. Once I've tabbed over, I should be at a point where I can start typing in the JavaScript. And the first thing we need to do for these to use these drawing tools is we need to declare a couple of variables. So the first one is going to be called canvas. And we're going to set this equal to document dot get element by ID, and then inside the parentheses we're going to use quotes and call the name of the canvas that we're going to be drawing on. So if we had multiple canvases on this project or page, we would have different names or IDs for them, and we can draw on the appropriate one. So in this case we just have one, but it's called my canvas. And then I'm going to close the parenthesis and put a semicolon. And I'll come down one line and I'm going to declare my next variable, which is going to be called context. And I'm going to call canvas dot and then a method called get context. The method get context has a capital C in it, so make sure that you don't put a lowercase c there. I'm going to also pass a string here, 2D, and you're going to pass these strings in quotes like this. So I have the quotes, close parenthesis, and a close semicolon, and I'll come down 2 lines from there. So up at the top of the script section, I've declared my variables. I'm going to leave a space in between, and now I'm going to start writing code for the circles on this page. And if you notice, we have a left circle over here, and we have a right circle on this side. And we're going to identify those using the comment. So I'll put left circle for this one. And I'll come down and put my right circle below that like this. Okay. Now going up to the one up above, we're going to go ahead and start the path off on this. I'll put context dot begin path with a capital P, open close parenthesis and a semicolon, and then I'm going to come down an extra line here and end that path. So I'm going to put context dot stroke, open close parenthesis and a semicolon, and another enter. Okay, as I scroll up and you look at this here, this is where it's beginning the path. This is where it ends it and actually draws. The stroke method here is what takes what's in here and draws that onto the canvas area. Now inside there is where we're going to put all the coding that we need to create these circles. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with context here. And circles are made using the arc method. So I'm going to put arc. And inside here we're going to pass 5 different parameters. The first parameter is going to be the x value of the center of that arc or circle. So if I go right to the center of this left one over here and look, I know the size of my canvas, so I can estimate pretty well. But if you're not sure, you might want to have graph paper where these are graphed out. But I know that this first one is going to be over 100 pixels from the left edge, and it's going to be down 100 pixels from the top. Okay? So I'm going to put my x value first, which is 100. So I'll go ahead and type that over here. 100. I'm coming down 100 from the top of that canvas area. So I'm going to put 100 again. And then I'm going to have a radius for this particular arc or circle. And this particular one, if I put my mouse right in the center there, I know that I'm 100 down from the top. And if that's 100, halfway in between right here is about 50. So the radius on this circle I know is going to be 50. Let's go ahead and type that in here. And then the last 2 items that we need to enter here pertain to the actual start and end points on this circle or arc. If I go 360 degrees, it's going to give me a complete circle. If I only go 180 degrees, it would give me a 180 degree arc. So in this case, we're drawing circles. So we're going to start at 0, which would be like in the 3 o'clock position. So let me go ahead and put 0. And we're going to actually draw this circle. It's going to be 2 radians is 360 degrees. So to do that, I'm going to use 2 times, and then using the math object, I'm going to pull or use pi from that math object. So I'll put it just like that, close parenthesis and a semicolon, and that should give me a circle on this page. So I'm going to go ahead and save this, and we're going to refresh our page down below, and you can see our page. We've got our text, everything on there, so we should have the circle now appearing on the left side. Okay. Before we go on to the next one, we're going to go ahead and actually do some formatting to the circle. So going back into the code area, I'm going to come down past this line that had the arc where we actually drew the circle, and I'm going to put context dot fill style with a capital S is going to be equal to, and this is going to be giving us the color on the inside of the circle like this. So the fill style for this particular one, we're going to use this yellow, and we'll put a semicolon at the end. And then we also need to use context dot fill open close parenthesis to make sure that it fills it in. So we specified a fill color, and then we've actually called the fill to do the fill on that circle. We also want to change the line width. Right now it's very thin. If you notice, very much thinner than the one up above. So we're going to increase that thickness. I'll put context dot and then line width with a capital W, and we're going to set this at about 5 pixels. Okay, and while we're at it, let's go ahead and change from black to the purple color that's used up above. So we use context dot, and we're going to put stroke style, okay, similar to the fill style up above, and we're going to specify what color we want this stroke or border to be. So I'm going to call this purple, close quote, and close semicolon here. Alright, let's go ahead and save and take a look at this, and we'll see what we've got. And you see that it looks exactly like the circle up above. And we're going to do the same thing to the right side. But rather than type all this again, because it's going to be fairly similar, I'm going to go ahead and just copy this here, and I'm going to paste it down below in this right side. Now, the things that we need to change or modify or edit in this side, we're going to be moving this thing over, and this here was at 100, the center was 100. If I went over another 100, it would be right here, and we know that these are 50 pixels for radius, so this is going to actually be 250 pixels over from the left side. So inside here, we're going to change this here one to 250. We're still coming down 100 from the top. Okay, still going to be using a 50 pixel radius, and we're still going to make a complete circle starting with 0 and going around to 2 times pi, which is 2 radians there. But we are going to change some items down here. If you notice, the one up above is actually filled in with a color called cyan. It's a very light blue. So we'll put that in here. We also have a border on this one that's red, so let's change that. The width is not going to change, and of course you still need to do the fill and also the stroke at the end. So let's go ahead and save this, and we'll refresh this browser. And now we've got an identical copy of the project that we had up here earlier. So we've gone all the way through it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If it was a little bit too fast for you, just remember that you can go back and review it as often as necessary. Pause it if you need to. And I appreciate you joining me with this video today. Take care and good luck with your studies. Bye-bye.